So I really had to rush through. So we're still on chapter 3 of the Lotus Sutra on the parables of the burning house. And so the initial verse, noble and enlightened beings live together in 5 destinies, which is the 5 destiny will come later, and also respond to the true realm, serve as a father in all in the world. So this is all in the samsaric realm. He treats all in the 3 realms with equal benevolence, and it's important to understand about equal benevolence, which I'll try to go into later on in the ending with the contemplation of all kinds of beings, all within this samsaric realm as his only son. So what would someone do, a parent, to treat the only child? And this is what the benevolence is talking about, treat everyone equally. Passes on its virtuous mission, and this is a legacy that pass on to the children. And so today is about passing on to the legacy to the children, which is the disciples. So the 5 destinies for the heaven, human, hell, hungry ghosts, and animal realms. Those who understand the samsaric realm will understand the asura is missing in here. But you think if you can contemplate on this, you know where asura will fall into here. So the 10 good deeds, if you remember, Master mentioned there's a 4th and a 5th vehicle, and the 10 good deeds. This is good. If you fulfill all these 10 good deeds or the 10 wholesome deeds, will seek rebirth in the heavenly realm out of the 5 destinies. And under you uphold the fundamental duties, which are the 5 precepts, then will rebirth in the human realm. But obviously, all these are still in the samsara realm, which we want to get out from. So if people are in the family, just for example, where we are in right now, people are it's like living in hell and they're suffering. So in the human realm that we are in right now, we can actually see all the 5 destinies that we have in here. So under the heavens and on top of the earth, in between, obviously, that's where the 5 realms are. The heavens meaning beyond the heavenly realm, which is the enlightened heaven. So the goal of the Buddha and the noble being and sages in coming to this world is to teach and transform all beings. So if even in before the time of the Buddha or during the time of the Buddha in China, there are also various sages. Lao Tzu is one of them that was born around the same time. There's a reason why when Buddhism started to spread and the direction was towards China, because it's easy for them to accept Buddhism because of the philosophy behind that. So noble and enlightened beings live together in the 5 destinies. So we must approach them with respect because everybody has the Buddha nature. So liberation and virtuous mission. A pure mind is free of desire. And this is about the liberation of our thoughts, that we not cling on to all the form and the skandhas and get entangled. And this is what we want to do, to liberate our mind away from this attachment. So everyone's mind is like a great house, which is still blazing and ablaze with fire. And for the Buddha, he treated all equally. So it does not discriminate between them. And this is what, if you remember, some time ago, Master mentioned about boundaries externally, partitions internally. And this is what it is. So we need to get rid of them if we are in a position to actually practice with equanimity. So the Buddha sees all kinds of beings as his only son, whether it's womb-born, egg-born, moisture-born, or transformation-born. Transformation-born can either from a very lowest realm, the hell realm, or the highest level, which is the heavenly realm. So as a father, he passes on his virtuous mission to his children. The question now is, for us as disciples, is to take on this virtuous mission, and it's all left to us. And this is the legacy of the way of life. Our mind is decaying with accumulation of habitual tendencies, and so we need to accept the Dhamma right away so that we can cleanse all the afflictions that we have and the mud of samsara that we are stuck into right now, and purify our mental afflictions. So the Buddha came to this world as a manifestation of the body, which is in the human realm. And there is a reason for this. And this is also partly, we need to understand, this is also we need to understand the legacy of this conduct of the Buddha, so that even that he was born as a prince, he managed to not be attracted by the skandhas of form, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. So this is what the liberation is about, which in the previous slide. And then able to pass down so that it inspire us at how the life should believe. And this is what life can be truly believed in the world. And this is how the Buddha showed us. And so he did not get mesmerized by the luxury that he had. So for the sake of saving people, and treat one equally, and that's what we should do. That is really compassion. And even in compassion, that's the reason why when you exercise compassion, one cannot have a discriminative mind. One cannot have boundaries and partitions within us. So on the powers of the Tathagata is that he has supreme enlightenment and he has unsurpassed extraordinary wisdom. And because of this, he's perfectly at ease with everybody. And the powers and fearlessness, fear, as I mentioned earlier, arises from the unknown. But if you have perfect wisdom, there's nothing you do not know. So therefore, you will have fearlessness. Because he understands everything, he is at ease with everyone, with everybody, with respect to what realms they are in. And because of the complete understanding, the spiritual powers and powers of the wisdom is unfathomable and is truly inconceivable. And this is what the powers of the Tathagata is. So the lessons learned. We can learn from the Buddha how to treat all living beings with equal benevolence, okay? Equal benevolence, and it's important to know that. It creates favorable assisting conditions for him and never ceases in his efforts. So if you remember some time ago, one of the points that I mentioned about in the spiritual journey is one of immeasurable distance, right? First thing you must need to know. Number two is that because it's immeasurable distance, you need to have ceaseless efforts. So this is what Buddha is trying to tell us. So the favorable conditions refer to the condition that Buddha came to the world to live amongst all beings to teach. And this is what he said, created a favorable existing conditions. So that's where we are right now. So Dharma is still around for us to hear and listen and to learn. Through transforming us with skillful wisdom. And this skillful wisdom, he created a condition, and that's a father will give his and guide us through from short samsara, the short enlightenment. But once we attain enlightenment, that for a bodhisattva is to come back to fulfill your first vow. So this vision that he has already passed to us is the legacy that is for us now to take on, to manage our own mission. And he has showed the way of the legacy, how he does that as a human being. And this is what we should emulate in our practice. But obviously we do so after we have learned well and understood well the Dharma. So we carry on this virtuous action by doing good deeds and benefiting others, about also cultivating and purifying the practices as we are doing now. So constantly remain pure, free of desires, forms, and afflictions, so that we can transcend the three realms. So in contemplation, very quickly, the moment that you live right now is a gift. The day when you wake up at dawn is a greater gift. It is a blessing indeed. And every day is a blessing. Every moment is a blessing. So spend the day well to learn and cultivate. When you open your eyes at the break of dawn as a disciple in practice, you receive the blessing of the day to live a day of practice, to invoke joy, hope, peace, and love within you, so that you will live the day purposefully and meaningfully. That relates to the teachings of this morning's recording, so that is a legacy we need to uphold every day. So on relationship, when love unfolds, life becomes purposeful in your practice. when consciousness grows, your character is meaningful in your knowing. And when the spiritual practice evolves, the attainments are benevolent in your spiritual growth. So you need to understand these three lines about learning, growing, and evolving. What is the purpose of life? What do you mean by meaningful practice, and getting and about benevolence to treat everyone as equal? So live then a life that is purposeful, consciousness that is meaningful, and practice that is benevolent. So Gan En, brothers and sisters, that's all I have today. Thank you.
Gan En so much,
Sorry for the
Brother
rush.
Chin. Yeah, for the remarkable sharing. Okay, before Brother Chin leaves us, can we quickly take a group photo of all of us? Please on your video. At the same time, we can we get the Stephanie to say a few words. Yes, we take our group photo.
Sister Stephanie, very chan hui lah.
Very chan hui, yeah.
Listen to the contemplation, I don't want to cry already. Huh? When maid not around, when maid not around, the training ground suddenly unlevel already.
Unlevel. Yeah.
Training ground bumpy already. So need more effort to smooth out the training ground. Yeah. So I'm still training.
Yes, yeah, so much.
Anyway, very solid sharing today, sister, all the sisters and brother. Gan En so much.
Okay, maybe we can have Sister Eve, Sister YY to continue with the sharing. Sister YY, morning.
Morning, Brother Robert, brothers and sisters. Thank you very much for the great sharing. So today, what I could absorb is Buddha coming to this world for one great cause, and the world never cease in the effort and take no break, just like our master. So the whole intention is to passing down, like the father passing the legacy to the son. What Buddha did is actually passing the Buddha Dharma. This is a spiritual wealth, to us, these Dharma children, and to grow our wisdom life. So make me feel really we have to also contemplate, never cease learning. We should never cease taking the opportunity to accept it, to accept the Buddha Dharma. And here, by the way, Buddha setting a life example, to teach us on the how to engage in spiritual practice. So at the onset, leaving the palace, Buddha leaving the palace is to actually tell us letting go. So at the onset, this is what needs to be done when engaging in spiritual practice, letting go of the desire and not focus on the pleasure. So this is what all I think our Tzu Chi volunteers, including all the entrepreneurs, what we heard today, is actually they set aside their business and actually humbly devote, themselves to help other sentient beings, the disaster survivors. This is a way actually also to form the good affinity. So is to Master mentioned, we shouldn't be actually acting out of the greed, anger, and ignorance. This is actually the way to transcend all the ignorance, a way to attain liberation. And talking about the power of compassion and wisdom, Buddha coming to this world for the one great cause. I heard something new is 那个真上缘啊，佛法的真上缘 to create favorable assisting conditions of Buddha Dharma to us. Keep on actually open and 开示 and review so that we can realize and enter this, take the Buddha Dharma to our heart. As what Sister Gabing said, yeah, to accept the right Dharma, we must have the strong belief and deep faith. Today the word fierce determination. We must have this fierce determination, because when we accept it, naturally, it will help us to remove our ignorance layer by layer and of course putting all this Dharma into practice. So here, the mind, Master mentioned our mind is our spiritual home. And at the same time, it's also, the three realms is also in our mind. It's so complicated. So we have all the sparks of the fire, so we have to really control and not letting it set ablaze. So here, by accepting this Buddha Dharma, then only, we would be actually having the so-called equivalent to taking the great ox cart. Then we will move on, steadily in our spiritual path, steadily advancing steadily, and at the same time, always the reminder 自度度人 自度度人 自觉觉他 自利利他 all this doing for ourselves and for others. This is the way to transcend the ignorance in our mind. So our mind taking, Master mentioned, take the Buddha's mind as our mind. This is actually effectively is the Buddha's spirit and all the ideas, and all these are intangible things, so inconceivable. The unconditional Dharma, but very, very so-called inspiring is that, everyone inherently has this. So what we need to do is do our part diligently, use, whatever the Dharma water that we have. Today, Master mentioned, accept it right away and wash away all the impurities. Gan En, this is my sharing today.
Thank you so much, Sister Wai Wai, for your very wonderful sharing. Thank you so much. Okay, next, can we hear a few words from our young brother Kevin? Feel the power of Dharma this morning? Brother Kevin Chok.
Okay, good morning, Godfather, and good morning, brothers and sisters. Today's teaching is quite insightful, and what I gained from today is everybody have the Buddha nature, and then we are the Buddha's teacher. No, we are the Buddha's sons and disciples and sons and daughters. And then one thing what we can do is we can be a bodhisattva. That means like not right now. I guess we are taking on the bodhisattva vow. That means like we are following we are like I think we are like the sons and daughters of the Buddha. That means when we listen the Dhamma, and we spread with everyone that we meet. So, and by doing so, we are eliminating one step at a time our ignorance, afflictions, and our desires. And Master said about the fame and fortune, like I think in Philippines, a brother in Philippines, even though there's typhoon and everything, he owns some supermarkets and 40 over supermarkets. Then with everything, he did not get angry or anything. He take life as impermanence. Like anytime in our life, it will have every second and every time the time will change. Impermanence happen. Like right now, I'm talking about maybe now it's about 6:49, so I might finish at 6:50. Yeah, so that says that impermanence do happen to us. So it's how do we react with impermanence, and yes, this is Gan. This is sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brother Kevin, for joining us and sharing. Next, can we have maybe Mr. Chui Mun share a few words? Morning, Mr. Chui Mun.
Good morning, brothers and
Morning.
sisters.
Morning.
Yeah. This morning, so I understand that the meaning of Tathagata is to be at ease, perfect ease, which means that the you know, in the practice, in how Buddha is teachings, the Buddha's teachings is actually to teach us how to be so pure and so understanding of all matters in the world, that we, you know, if you have this kind of understanding, the fear will not be there because you fully understand. And in following the practice that, you know, we are talking about every day, the ultimate thing is actually to be at ease. And I think that it is very important that even as we practice, we must also constantly to practice with the aim to be at ease ourselves. Because I think that if we are not at ease ourselves, it's very, very hard to teach another person, you know, you have to do this. Because if you're not at ease, how can we teach somebody else? So yeah, so that's my take for today. Yeah, to be at ease all the time that we are doing what we are learning, what we are practicing amongst the people in our work in Tzu Chi, is actually to also learn how to be at ease. Because without this, I think we cannot do effective work and cannot teach others going forward. Gan En.
Yeah, Gan En, the Chui Mun. Well said, very well said, very well shared. Okay, next, can we have Sister Sui San share a few words?